A plus-size girl, weighing over 500 pounds, was planning to go for a swim at the pool. But when she jumped in, the splash was so big that one of her classmates used a net to catch her head. The girl was terrified of the people who often bullied her, so she had no choice but to dive underwater and hide. When she came up again, she found that all of her clothes had been taken by her classmates. At that moment, she saw her best friend still on the shore. She hurriedly called out for help, but to her shock, her best friend took the only towel she had left. The poor girl had no choice but to run home in just her swimsuit, head down and feeling helpless. She tried to avoid any pedestrians, but there were still some jerks who mocked her as they passed by. They honked their horns and insulted her, even trying to mess with her physically. After that incident, the girl was humiliated and, to avoid running into anyone else, decided to take a longer route home. But not long after, she was shocked to see the classmates who had bullied her earlier, now covered in blood, crawling on the ground. She froze, too terrified to react, and pretended she hadn't seen them, walking away as quickly as she could. A few moments later, a car behind her suddenly started up and began driving toward her. The man in the car glanced at her, then stopped. As the girl stopped and looked at the car, a bloody hand suddenly appeared from the back seat. It looked like her best friend, the one who hadn't helped her earlier. The driver stared at her through the rearview mirror, sending a chill down her spine. The people in the car saw her too, and she started banging on the window, desperately hoping for help. But she was too scared to even move, let alone try to save someone. When the driver opened the car door as if he was getting out, the girl thought she was done for. But instead, he threw out a towel. She realized what he meant, and she raised her left hand to thank him. The driver immediately sped off, leaving only the sound of her best friend's screams behind. The girl wrapped herself in the towel and rushed home, still overwhelmed by fear. The image of her best friend's desperate cry kept replaying in her mind. After struggling with her emotions, she finally decided to call the police. But when she opened her computer, she saw that her best friend had posted on social media, calling her family a bunch of fat pigs. At that moment, the girl couldn't hold back her anger any longer. She slammed her computer shut, deciding she wouldn't get involved with this anymore. Later that night, her best friend's mother came knocking on her door. She had been trying to contact her daughter but couldn't get through, so she came to the girl, hoping she could find out what had happened. But the girl's mother, furious, didn't even listen to her and angrily kicked her out. Once the woman left, the girl felt a sense of relief. But just then, she suddenly remembered her phone was still in the bag that her classmate had taken. If someone found it, she wouldn't be able to explain herself.